والدنا ومولانا.
In the Sohbat, I think a few days ago, and there's one poem about Hazrat Hussain in India that the last line it's saying that, that the poet is saying, my hope on the day of judgment is that the people who love the awliya Allah will be next to them, that they keep them next to them. And that Shaykh Effendi said, and you're saying that our job is not to try to be awliya or to be salihin, but to be with them. And I'm thinking about that especially in the context of today, that with Ashura, that's a very different, especially people in tariqat, other tariqats, the idea is that we have to reach to that, but it's such a different understanding and such a different mission when the goal is to be with them, just to be loyal and to stay in that sohbat. And I wanted to ask you about that, if you can open it more.
I don't understand what you're trying to say about the other tariqats, what as opposed to ours.
That the goal is the goal is you're walking towards trying to become a wali.
Is that it?
I think in other tariqats.
What?
I think that's...
Don't start accusing other tariqats. No.
From other tariqats that I sat with them, that is the
Right.
goal that they are stating. That your goal is ultimately to become wali, that the sheikh is to take you, to put you on that road.
Can't speak for other tariqats. But I remember Sahib al-Saif saying, quoting from Shaykh Maulana Sultan al-Awliya, he says, our aim is to be nothing. Our aim is to be nothing. As long as you think that you are something, shaitan and your ego will trick you. To be an awliya is still something. In this Naqshbandi way, their end is our beginning. You think whatever you want, but once you start in this way, everything is finished. They'll take everything away from you. There are some, I know from personal experience, and close that door. You guys never listen to me properly. I said when the zikr is happening, close the door. Quickly. Diggy, back and forth. Never knowing when it is a holy night to know where your manners are. Huh? I'll throw you guys out. You're still blind. Now you know. Why do you sit like that for 5 minutes when dua is happening? Scratching here, digging there. You don't know who came, and they're looking at you and to you. Maybe the rest of the year you're going to be stuck. Do you know that? Do you believe or you don't believe? Don't you know that this is now manners that we're talking about? You can be the highest person, but if you lose your manners in front of the holy ones, everything is lost. Don't you know? Then why are you not learning? I'm teaching you this, huh? We're not talking about hours and hours, bro. We're talking about a couple of minutes. We're talking about you catching yourself. This is the aim. Our aim is to catch ourselves, to know when it's coming from Rahman, when it's coming from Shaitan, and to catch ourselves. It is not through our effort. Nothing is through our effort. We don't know that yet. What is the belief, the i'tiqad of the Ahli Sunnah together about the Ahlul Bayt? About the Holy Prophet ﷺ. If it's by effort, if it's because of what you do, why the prophets on the Day of Judgment, they're not going to present their effort and their work in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when on that day they should be very confident and very satisfied and very safe to say, I did this much. This prophet saying, I did this much. This prophet saying, I did this much. Why on that day even the prophets, they're afraid from the anger of their Lord, and they're waiting for the Holy Prophet ﷺ to come to do what? To intercede for them. Don't you understand now this is the reality? It is intercession. Through your effort, through our efforts, what we think we're doing. What is our effort? How do you get intercession now? By declaring yourself wali? Is that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Hazrat Musa? The way that you'll please me, the way that you'll make me happy, is to become a wali. Or he says, love those ones whom I love and hate those ones whom I hate. Leave those ones whom I leave. This has to do with your ego. You're coming into tariqat, you still think that you want to reach the wilayat, you still have your ego in you. That means you don't understand your nafs first. If you understand your nafs, you'll be very ashamed to even think of that. If you're aware of your nafs, not even your shaitan or your dunya, you're not aware. You're still not aware. In this way, they'll make you aware. They'll bring it out, and you're going to be shocked by yourself. Yes. And when it's brought out, don't think that the help is not there. Don't think that the direction is not there. How to navigate towards that disease that comes out. Now it is up to you. Now they say, now use your willpower. Are you going to take the medicine, or are you going to take the disease? Some, they fell off. They take the disease. They become more and more and more lost. Sayyid al-Anbiya, Sayyid al-Awliya. Highest titles to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, but when he was asked what was his favorite name, what his favorite title, he says Abdullah. Abdullah. And Shaykh Abani had said so many times, if you're coming here to learn how to be a servant, welcome to you. But there are many, not many, I'm saying some, maybe they're confused. They're not coming to serve. They're coming to have a position, to step forward. Be sincere. This is a missing thing. In this day of Ashura, one of the zikrs that we have to do is recite Surah Al-Ikhlas as many times as we can, in the namaz, in the zikr, for ikhlas. Because once you are sincere, then you understand your ego, then you can say, this is my ego. Not to say, this is my ego, but again, this is not. It's not really my ego, but it's my ego. It's my understanding. There is no confusion there. There is clarity. At least you must start with the clarity of your evil before you think you're going to move to the clarity of your ruh. Leave that to Allah. Our aim is just to see what is holding us, what is binding us, to understand and to release it. If you still don't understand what binds you, that time it will choke you. And you think that you are there to do something, you think you're doing something. Murid should wake up. And being with the awliya doesn't mean just to sit with them, just stare at them and cry and then clap, like fans. It is not. Our Shaykh opened it up for years, more. It is to love them. It is to serve them. It is to help them. They don't need the help. We need it, but it's to help them. Just like the Sahabi Kiram. They did not enter Islam to be a prophet, Hasha, to be like the prophet. They enter because they fell in love with the company of the Prophet ﷺ. So once you fall in love, you will understand your position. The one who falls in love, he'll never think he's a wali. Never. The one who falls in love, he'll always think that he's a servant. Always, always, always. But if your ego is so high, you demand other people fall in love with you, that's something else. The Sahaba Kiram, through that love of the Prophet ﷺ, where they say and they did, may my parents be sacrificed for you, may my children be sacrificed. They said and they did. Years later, Prophet ﷺ is showing, you saying that, I'm also saying that, I'm also doing that. My grandchildren are sacrificed for you. And there is safety for the ummah. Why is there safety for the ummah when they are sacrificed? Because it's showing now the extreme compassion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the mercy. He could have finished. Less were done by the followers of the earlier prophets, less. And their whole nation is completely finished. Less. But this nation, understand the degree of the transgression it can make And because of the Prophet ﷺ, and because of his Ahlul Bayt holding their hand too, we'll also say that time now and Judgment Day, this is not the time for revenge. That we have to learn what is this mercy towards each other. Or is this mercy that you can take people in, that you can forgive them, that you can make them live, that you can raise an empire, that you can love the Ahlul Bayt and you can love the awliyas, and you can spread that love because of the sacrifice that you've made to people who declared themselves your enemies, who made piles of skulls of your believers, our believers. Through that compassion, they fall in love now with the awliyas, they fall in love with the Prophet ﷺ, and they become the defenders of Islam and Haqq. It happened then. Now there are many enemies of Islam. You think it's not going to happen? Think again. So those who come with that kind of understanding, I'm saying here, we're not talking about other tariqats, they have maybe their own ways of doing it. They're still coming with stuff. I'm not going to say so much, this is public. Yeah. But it's still coming it, how you say, you must fall in love. You have not fallen in love. If you fall in love with your Shaykh, then you will know. You fall in love with your Prophet, then you will know. Nothing else matters. It's not what you call yourself. It's what that one calls you. Yes? And the one who loves you, he can call you by many names. It doesn't matter. Then that time, he can call you a lion, he can call you a donkey. It doesn't matter because you understand. You're coming in and you want to be an awliya. In reality, your ego is there challenging. They're challenging. Yeah, to be a good person, something, yani, right? To clean ourselves from our ego, from our sins, whatever, something. To say, I want to be that. Why don't you become a friend of Allah? Isn't that always been the way? Isn't that how one of the greatest saints, Ibrahim ibn Adham, isn't that how he was? Because he was a friend to the friend of Allah. Different understanding. We must try to understand this. You will not chase so much this world or other things when you have that love. Hazrat Hussein, his family, his companions, they were not running after titles. They were not running after themselves or this dunya. They walked their destiny because they knew what was the wazifa that was given to them, the aim, the direction, their job. I was reading today one of Shaykh Effendi's sohbats. Yes, I read Shaykh Effendi's sohbats. I wonder how many people, murids reading Shaykh Effendi's sohbats or our sohbats. And he was slamming the Ahlul Bayt of this world, right? Yeah. It's not about the title. Once you're doing the job, who cares about the titles? So we continue, inshallah. Dogs may bark, but the caravan still continues. We'll continue. We have no other plans. This world is becoming more and more unbelievable. Even the unbelievers are saying. This is unbelievable. They just realize the evil of the world, you see. All this time they've been sleeping. They think the world is so nice. But as believers, especially as Naqshbandis, first, awareness is the evil. Yes? First, awareness is evil. The evil of our ego, shaitan, dunya, hawa. That time when you understand the evil, then you'll mean it when you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. If you don't understand the evil, you're just going to not run to Allah. So we are running. We're running away from this evil and from this dunya to make our own hijrah, as Hazrat Hussein was trying to do. So we will see, inshallah. Our Shaykh had said so many times what we are preparing for. Then he has spoken about honor and loyalty so many times. We're asking Allah to keep us honorable, to keep us loyal, and to be aware of our own stupidity, aware of our own evil, to be aware of our own ghaflat. May we not be tricked. May we not be oppressors or those who are being oppressed, inshallah. May Allah forgive me. May Allah raise the station of Sahib al-Sayf. Al-Fatiha.